Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Feel It to Heal It podcast. Oh, I'm so excited for today's topic. We're going to be talking about energy creating your life. And I just experienced this last night and this morning, and it was like I'd already chosen this topic for today, so it was just perfect confirmation. And I'm so excited to share it all with you today. So I'm going to hop on Instagram and go on Morning Tea Live. And as you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, I still don't have my Feel It to Heal It sign up yet in the new place. I've decorated pretty much the entire apartment. This is like the last remaining wall and then the one in my room. But I need to get a hammer because the holes are a little bit different. So anywho, thanks for bearing with me with my bare wall. But it's a little simplified vibe with the plant and the white wall. And we got grandma's, 80s Hampton shirt. So we're rocking it. All right, let's do the damn thing. What's her title? Energy creates our lives. Guys, I'm so lit up. Like I'm feeling this Aries full moon tomorrow. Things are shifting, things are releasing, and it's all happening. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Morning Tea Live. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are doing fabulously. Just taking a breath to land here with you all. It has been such a magical, like less than 24 hours. And this is not even why I chose this topic. But when I chose this topic, it was inspired from some conversations that I had this week with various people in my life. And I had chosen it in my head. I hadn't even posted about it. And then after I chose it, all this stuff happened with energy. And I was like, oh my God, you are so perfect that literally once I chose this, you gave me like real time examples to use. And I literally just experienced these shifts from last night to waking up this morning, like an hour ago. I slept in this morning. So like a little over an hour ago. And now I get to teach it to you. And I mean, there's just countless examples of how energy creates our lives. But when we get to experience it for ourselves and not just hear it as like this nice idea, but when we really get to experience it, we build evidence around it. And the more evidence we have, because our human brains love to see it, to believe it, and that's our reward for believing it even when we don't see it. So we have to start with that. Then we gain the evidence, and then it just increases our belief in the things that we can't see, and then it continues, right? So we move first, and the universe rewards courage for believing what we can't see, and then it gives us that evidence that we can trust that. So let's take a few breaths to just settle into this space, and then I'm going to guide you in a very short and sweet, potent training on how we can use energy to create our lives and how we can literally be the co-creators of our lives. Now, if you are someone that has done a lot of manifestation work, spirituality work, learning about the law of attraction, this live and this training is going to be very different because I used to be that person who would attend all the manifestation trainings, who would learn all about the energy of money, and none of it worked for me because I had too much trauma that was keeping my nervous system in survival mode. So this is for the people who maybe you've done those trainings and maybe you've manifested the things, and yet you're still feeling contracted, anxious, in scarcity. Some of the richest people I know are the ones who are in most scarcity. So it actually is not about how much money or abundance you have or whatever the thing is that you have. You could have the most dreamy relationship, but you are too anxious to actually enjoy it. And this is something I work with my clients on all the time. So this is shifting from, we're not manifesting the thing to make you happy. We are understanding that when you create internal safety and peace in your body, because your body is the home that you live in on this earth, throughout your lifetime here on Earth School, that anything outside of yourself, the money, the partner, the house, all these things, these flashy things that we love to focus on, because it's really an avoidance of what's happening in here, you know what I'm saying? Then that just becomes a bonus. That becomes like an extra. It becomes a reflection of what's happening internally. So let's take 3 long, deep breaths together just to settle into this present moment. So maybe putting your hand over your heart, maybe one over your abdomen, and just breathing all the way in, filling your belly with air like a balloon, expanding out, sending the breath up to your chest, and slowly release. And again, breathing out, breathing up, and release. One more. And settling in. Okay, we got Luna's tush in my face. Guys, I am so excited. It has literally been, I have shifted so much energy. I can't even tell you. This was last night at 9:30. And I had all of this clarity that I'd been waiting for. I'd been really working to heal this scarcity wound that I noticed come up in this very sneaky, subtle way. And I was waiting to gain clarity on what the root of it was, because I couldn't figure it out. My mentor and I had been processing it for a few weeks and we were making some headway, but there were like deeper roots of it. Like we knew it was, you know, having to do with my anxious attachment with my mom. We knew it was something having to do with like trying to save my mom. We knew it had to do with my mom, but it hadn't fully clicked and landed yet. And last night, and I haven't, my Voxer Day with my mentors Thursday, so I haven't even gotten to kind of go over this with her to see if she has anything to add to it, because it's literally becoming your own emotional detective, and not in a like bad, scary way, but like in an exciting way of like, oh, this is what I uncovered. What do you think? And then we fill in the missing pieces. Luna, leave my chairs alone. I got my new dining room table set and Luna keeps scratching my new chairs, so it's very annoying. Anyway, so it's like we put the puzzle piece together to understand why things are showing up as they are, because when we understand that and we get to the root, like the actual root, we were at like the layer above the root. Last night I got to the root on my own and it was like, it just, and it wasn't anything new. Like it was a wound that I had already uncovered, but it wasn't connecting to this present thing that was showing up. So I had to connect the dots and then it landed. And then I was like, oh, that's what's happening. That's what's happening for little me. It was little me feeling scared. And I'm not going to go into all the details yet because I'm still letting it process and integrate, but I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's what's happening. And so now I know how to shift it because I've identified what that younger part needs. And so I can give that reparative experience for her. And it landed in my body and I felt it land. And then this morning I woke up to so much abundance, like all at once. And this is how quickly energy can shift. And this is just an example of like money abundance, but this can shift in terms of how you feel in your relationship, right? Maybe one day you're like contracted and anxious and ruminating and like freaking out because you don't know if the person you're with is like your person and da da da. And maybe the next day you just feel a softening and you're able to just be without knowing and be in the present moment and enjoy the relationship. It could be your relationship with food or your addictive behaviors or like your need for external validation. It could be anything. Sometimes what happens is we work in layers and layers and it's just like the onion, right? It's like we just go deeper, deeper. And then there will be moments when you allow it to just land and click. And once it clicks, energy can shift so quickly. And this is how energy creates our lives. So again, if you've done all the manifestation work and you're like, oh, it's not really working for me. Why is this not working? I was that person. I have done so many manifestation programs and I could not, I would see all these like people sharing their wins, like, oh my God, I manifested this check in the mail or this dream partner. And I couldn't figure out, like, why is this not working for me? And then I found this work and I understood, oh, I don't have space energetically in my body to be a match for the abundance, the whatever the things that I'm calling in, because I have so much fear. So, okay, let's break it down very simply. Energy, emotion is energy. Emotion, energy and motion. So you have energy in your body and it's flowing around and it's emotion, right? You have fear, you have sadness, you have joy, you have shame, you have pain, you have just like peace, you have gratitude, you have all these different feelings in your body. And they're moving around, moving around, moving around. Now, when we don't allow them to move through, they get stuck because we learn, oh, that fear is not safe to feel. So it gets stuck right here. And then we have a kind of an achy shoulder or whatever, right? Or it gets contracted in our chest and we're walking around with a tight chest all day. Or maybe you don't feel safe to feel your shame. And so you get a stiff neck and it stores right here. It's literal energy. This isn't just like a fun fantasy idea. It's like literal energy in your body that gets stuck and it causes stiffness and it causes contraction and it causes tightness. And we then wonder, well, I'm thinking positive thoughts. Why am I not manifesting the thing? And we gaslight ourselves. Well, I'm thinking positively. I'm thinking positively. Okay, you might be thinking positively, but what's happening in here? Are you contracted? Do you have fear? Do you have shame? Do you have pain? All blocking your flow of energy. The reason why it's a flow is because when we move energy through our body, we make space for new energy to come in. So what that looks like is when you've had a great cry or when you've, released some fear and you feel lighter, it's because physical energy, like that, again, that's not just a cute expression. I feel lighter. You literally are lighter because you have removed and released that heavy, stuck, stagnant, crystallized energy, which is what creates disease, that crystallized and it turns into cancer and all the things. So none of this is a mystery, right? Like, oh, my relative got cancer at 70. That's not surprising. They had repressed trauma in their body. Were they taking care of themselves? How safe did they feel in their body? Like, our bodies are not machines. We are human. And so there's only so long that we can go of feeling intense fear in our bodies before it shows up as disease. None of this is a mystery. It all actually makes perfect sense, which is why, as someone who has had cancer, my biggest fear in life was getting it again. Oh my God, what if I get it again? Right? Because in the cancer world, they say 5 years, you're cured, but they don't know what trauma you're going to experience or what stressors you're going to experience, right? You can't guarantee that. So my whole fear was, what if I get it again? And now that I understand how energy works, I'm like, oh, that is so much more in my power than I even realize. And even if something happens that, is out of control, out of our control, right? Like you do all the things and you still get a sickness, or you do all the things and you still break your leg, or whatever the fuck happens, everything happens for you. And I know that may be hard to hear because we've had some pretty horrific things happen to us as human beings, right? Like I've had cancer, I've had severe trauma, like all the things. And to be able to look back and say, oh, but I understand why that was happening for me. It was a way that I got my needs met. It was a way that I healed past life trauma. It was a way that I created this foundation for my life of gratitude to just be alive, of like, oh, this wasn't just given to me, this was a gift. So it served a lot of different purposes. And when we can relate to everything in our lives as, oh, this all is serving a purpose for our growth. Growth does not mean easy. Growth does not mean comfortable. Growth means growth. Growth means that the universe, God, angel, source, whatever you believe in, is going to put whatever we need in our path to be able to create the growth and the experience that we are literally put on earth for. So when we fight that and we resist that, it's not actually helping. So we need to release that energy to create a new experience. So when I was doing all these manifestation programs and nothing was happening, it's because I was saying, oh, I'm abundant. Oh, like the words were coming out, but my energy was not matching the words. And energy creates your mindset. So you can temporarily say these positive mantras, but if you're not embodying them in your body, embody in your body, none of it's actually going to do shit. You can literally repeat mantras all day. You can write positive sayings on the wall. You can, do all the things. And I used to be a CBT therapist. I literally would help people think positive thoughts. And then I would wonder, oh, how come they're not getting better? That's why, because we weren't getting them into their bodies, because I was not trained to do that until I was trained to do it after I had already finished grad school, which is like a whole other fucked up story. Anyway, so when we're thinking the positive thought, like, oh, I'm going to sell out at this event, or I'm going to meet this dreamy partner, or I'm going to lose the 5 pounds, like whatever the thing is. And in your body, if your body is like constipated emotionally, as I like to say, and it's like holding on for dear life and it's scared, and little you is terrified of letting that thing go, it doesn't matter what comes out of your mouth or in your mind. Whereas when you actually feel the fear, feel the pain, feel the shame, and allow it to move through, and not feel it in a way where you, like, when you get sucked into something and then you go down a dark hole, that's not feeling, that's attaching on to the pain. It's like, oh, I'm feeling the pain, I'm going to attach onto it, and I'm just going to go let it drag me in a hole. That's not feeling. Feeling is noticing where, like right now, practice feeling with me in your body, what's happening. So identify a sensation. So breathe all the way in. Identify a sensation. My heart feels fiery because I feel passionate right now. But like just whatever sensation, do you feel tightness in your chest, a pit in your stomach, sweaty palms? Do you feel maybe light and peaceful? Do you feel any, contraction? Are you gripping or holding on anywhere? And let's just take a moment to allow all that to soften. So breathing all the way in and just allow it to soften. And just land in this moment of it softening. Just notice what that feels like. And notice if you can just continue to breathe with that sensation. So maybe it's in your chest and you just notice where it goes. Does it go down? Does it go up? Just noticing if as you breathe, does the breath push it down? Does it push it up? Does it push it to the side? Does it just stay the same? Does it get heavier? Does it get softer? You're just gently observing without judgment, without trying to fix it, without trying to change it. You're just accepting that it is what it is. And can you just be with it? And by being with it, it means feeling it in your body, allowing space. Imagine if you were with a friend or you were with a child and you were being with this person, you're just there with them, your presence. So can you have that presence, be with that emotion? I'm paying attention to the tension as if you were treating it like a friend. And can you just notice how it feels without making it wrong, without trying to avoid it, just literally being with it neutrally. And if you are making yourself wrong for it, just getting curious, why? Why would you be wrong for human emotions? Maybe because you learned as a child it wasn't safe to feel your emotions. Whatever the reason is, it doesn't actually matter. It's just in this present moment, allowing yourself to have a new experience without grasping onto the old ways. Breathing in again. And noticing as that emotion continues to move further and further, can you notice a new sensation coming over your body? So, for example, I went from having a fire in my heart because I was really passionate to I'm breathing now. So I'm just feeling like my heart's a little bit calmer. But the fire wasn't wrong and the calm isn't wrong. None of this is wrong. It's just different. It's just allowing for different experiences to come and go, to come and go, to flow through your body. So maybe if you felt tightness in your jaw or tightness in your chest and you continue to breathe into maybe sigh it out, whatever you need to do to allow, maybe shaking it out, like to allow some of that emotion to move through. Can you notice any difference? Can you notice any calm? Can you notice any softening? Can you notice any release? Like literally when you're constipated and you take a massive shit and it feels amazing, can you allow your chest to take that massive shit? Can you imagine your stomach who's like gripping on, like, shh, let it shit out all the emotion, just like soften. Love how my brain always goes to the poop analogies. Just allowing it all to be, and then coming to the safety of this present moment. And just noticing how your body's feeling. I am safe to be with this calm. I am safe to feel different. I am safe to release this old way. And every moment you do that is another moment to show your nervous system a new way of safety. And the more that you can show it this new way of safety over and over and over and over again, it becomes your new norm. So taking another breath. And I love to hear for those that are live, like, did you feel any shifts? Did you feel the energy moving out? Did you feel any new energy coming in? So this is exactly what I did last night. I noticed this contraction in my body around a particular subject. I got reminded of that subject last night and it contracted again. I felt the contraction. I paused what I was doing. I got still. I breathed and I was like, why am I contracting right now? What's happening for me? Just curiosity and compassion and showing interest to that younger part. I am here, little you. What is happening for you that you are contracting? Because our most powerful adult selves, we don't live like this. We live like this. And so when you're living like this, that is an inner child. So what is happening for her? And it just came through me very clearly. I'm afraid that if I relate this way, that my safety is going to be taken from me. And I got to the root of why that is. And I felt emotion come up, which means I hit the truth of that root because it's painful and it's sad. And it was also just this feeling of like relief, like, oh my God, that's what's been happening for me. And it makes so much sense. And I can be with the sadness and the fear that that little version of me was feeling in those moments. And then I can come back to the present and show her, but this isn't then. This thing that's happening is not what happened. And you get to show a new experience. And I looked at all the ways in which I was relating to this present moment through that thing in the past. And then I said, that's different. And I showed her how it was different. And I said, it makes sense that you feel that way, but this is different. That's not going to happen to you again. And now I'm here to show you that our safety is not dependent on that anymore. It's dependent on inside. Like we have everything we need within us. We don't actually need that person, that thing, that place, that money, that whatever it is. And then your brain's going to go, but yes, but we do need money to live, or yes, we do need connection to live. Yes. But you don't create those things from outside. You don't create those things from grasping onto them. We do need connection. We do need money to survive. We do need food. Yes, 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 yes. But we don't get those things by grasping onto them because the universe doesn't want to keep us dependent, because that's not a great way of living. God is the best parent we have, and God wants us to feel safe, to know how powerful we are because we come from God. We are God, right? So if we come from God, we are God's creation or the universe, whatever you want to say, it doesn't fucking matter. A higher power. And we come from there. We are so fucking powerful. And so it's almost like disrespectful to this creator that gave birth to like millions of people and was like, I just birthed all of you and you're so fucking powerful. And I'm trying to just spoil you with all of this magic available to you. And yet you keep grasping onto each other or to this hypothetical paper. You know, money is paper, this paper. You're like, oh, I need safety. I need safety. And God's like, dude, what the fuck? You are so fucking powerful. You don't need to grasp onto it. It's literally just falling everywhere if you're open to it. Like literally, the money is just falling. But we don't see that because we're grasping onto it like the inner child does. Like, mommy, right? Sugar daddy, give me money. Like that's literally what our inner child does. And like, God bless her. It's so cute. And we can just laugh and be like, wow, that was cute. But that's not how that works. And so energetically, I breathed. I tended to little me. I was like, oh my God, I get it. I see why you were relating that way. You were so scared of your safety being taken away. But that's the old way of safety because your safety as a child is quite different than your safety as an adult. As a child, you do need something outside of yourself for safety. As an adult, you actually don't. You create it. Instead of your parents making the milky bottles, here's your nutrition, you create your milky bottles, AKA nutrition, money, peace. You get to create that. We have so much freedom as adults. Everyone has this bad rep about adulting. Oh, I have to do dishes. So what? I'll do dishes any day if that allows me to be the creator of my own life. Any day. And of course, there's magical parts about being a child because, you know, you don't have all the conditioning and laying of the world yet, and you're just deeply in the present moment. But we can bring those magical parts of childhood into the present by being deeply present. But we have to feel safe to be deeply present. So I moved the energy through. I felt the release of fear. I showed myself and I wrote out. I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. I didn't even get out my journal, which is what I normally do, but I knew that so much was pouring through. I had to just type it because it would be quicker. So I was like writing emails to myself, another email to myself, another email to myself. And I just, all this stuff, understanding what was happening for me. And because I had released that fear, and I got to the root of it, I made space for new energy to come in. And I kid you not, I wait an hour before opening Instagram when I wake up. That's my new habit that I'm building consistency on. I think maybe this morning I waited like 45 minutes because I had to come on here and do this live. But anyway, I woke up to 4 messages. 4. One person wanting to sign up for my new mastermind, also wanting to buy one of my programs, another client who wanted to pay a invoice from a past session, another client who wanted to join Authenticity Unleashed, the program. And then what was the 4th one? It was, oh my God, I'm going to blank out. Wait, hold on. Oh, yes. And then my client who had signed up for my mastermind as well as one-on-one had paid the invoice. So there were 4 different like new energy coming in of abundance of dream clients continuing this work with me, like of, you know, people wanting to pay me and people wanting to join. I did not have energetic space for that as recently as yesterday. And so my job is when I put out offers to you all, I have to look at where in my energy is it going to block people from being able to access this work, which is why your energetic vibration is your responsibility because it's actually selfish not to do this work. It's actually the most selfless thing you can do to do this work because if you are blocked, if you have a service, God put you on this earth and you have a purpose and a service for serving, but your fear is blocking from people to okay, let me reword this. Your fear is blocking you from feeling safe to actually share that service, let alone receive the people, the money signing up for that service, you're then not going to be able to spread your gift that you are literally placed on this earth to spread. And that is selfish. So it's actually the most selfless thing you can do to say, okay, I'm putting this offer out into the world. And I have to do this every time I launch something, literally every time. I'm not exempt from this. Think about anything that you are putting out into the world. Maybe you have a business, maybe you sell a product, maybe in your job, you are spreading information about something. And you are saying the words, you have the action plan down, and yet your body is this inner child contracting, being like, oh my God, I'm not safe to receive this money. Oh my God, I'm not safe to advertise myself in this way. Oh my God, it's not safe to sell this product. What if people don't like it? And then we contract, and then we wonder, well, we're saying all the things, we're putting ourselves out there, and nothing is happening. Same with relationships. You can apply this to any, and this is not just money. Energy creates every area of your life. You want that dream apartment, and yet when you put in the application, your whole body's like, whoa, right? And so you're wondering why you're not receiving, right? It's receiving in any way. You have to feel safe. How safe do you feel to receive a compliment? How safe do you feel to receive a beautiful message from a friend without having to be like, oh no, but you're so beautiful. Oh no, but you, and like putting it back on them. How safe do you feel to receive someone wanting to buy a coffee for you? How safe do you feel to receive, even on a date, someone wanting to pay for you, or your partner buying you unexpected flowers or a gift? Maybe you don't feel safe to receive those things, but then your ego is complaining that your partner's not buying you gifts. Well, maybe there's some energy that is repelling him from doing that. Everything is energy. And so when we shift our energy, the energy around us shifts. The energy in which we're attracting shifts. So if I'm walking through life with contracted, fearful energy, where little me is just like, oh my God, I feel terrified, she's not going to, like, think about it. If there's a 5-year-old running your life and you try and give a 5-year-old $1 million, a 5-year-old can't hold $1 million. What would a 5-year-old do with $1 million? They don't know how to open a bank account. If you try and give a 5-year-old the most magical love, they're 5 years old. They don't know how, they're 5, right? Like, they might be able to experience it a little bit. So you have to think about that. Where is 5-year-old you, 7-year-old you, 9-year-old you? For me, it's always like either 2-year-old me or like 4 to 6-year-old me, because those were like 2 to 4.5 was when I was sick. 4 to 4.5 to like 6, 7, 8-ish is when I had a lot of attachment wounding. So you have to look at, if I am operating from that sick 2-year-old or that scared 4-year-old of her parents getting divorced, and I go out into the world and I'm like selling my offers and nothing's happening, well, yeah, she's fucking terrified. She's in survival mode. And so we need to be with that emotion that she didn't have the safety nor space nor attunement to feel. And that is what this work is all about. It's giving our inner child that reparative experience. And this is what I do with my clients every day. I attune to them. I give them my grounded nervous system to be in tune with, so that they can be in that energy, rather than the energy that we all grew up with in our society, of frenetic energy. Of, it's like we all need, my favorite analogy is that I'm the redwood tree. We all need a redwood tree to come back to guide us home to ourselves, right? To be that clear, clean channel and mirror to co-regulate with us. And so when our inner child feels safe to feel that emotion, be seen in that emotion, be held in that emotion then feels safe to move through. We then build internal safety. We feel safe to feel that emotion. And then when we feel that emotion, we open up energetic space to feel safe to receive what it is that we're wanting to receive, or to give what it is that we are not feeling safe to give. And this is the flow of energy. We give, we receive, we spend, we earn, we give a gift, we receive a gift. Like, what goes out comes back in, what goes out comes back in, but not if you're relating to it from an attachment wounding place of like, oh my God, I'm grasping onto this thing as it's leaving and I'm not letting it go. Or, oh, this thing received, this paper I received and I'm grasping onto it and I'm not letting it go, or I'm not letting anything else flow in. Everything is energy. How you communicate, what energy are you communicating with? And then how are you being met in that communication? Are you communicating from a proving place? This was a huge one for me. Little me was just like, listen to me. I'm going to prove you all that I know what I'm talking about, because my wisdom was not validated. I was invalidated. And so I didn't have space to own my wisdom the way that I do now. Like, I know how fucking wise I am. I didn't feel safe to own that before, because what would actually embodying my wisdom look like? Not relating in little girl energy to my friends and family. And I was the youngest in my family. So I'm used to being the baby, right? Embodying my wisdom is not showing up as the baby anymore. So if you're angry that your mom or your boyfriend is treating you like a child, where are you showing up like a child? The external always mirrors back the internal. Always. So even when I launch a new program and it's crickets, there's one of two things happening. There's either lessons that need to be learned for me. And usually the lesson is, where am I not believing in myself? Where am I contracted? Where am I not feeling safe? And as soon as I shift that shit, it flows in. I've literally, that's happened pretty much every launch, where it's like, it goes from 0 to like 100. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's because I needed to shift this energy. And so apply that to anything in your life. Where are you feeling blocked? Is it money? Is it relationship? Is it just connection to yourself? Of course, you're not going to feel safe to sit still with yourself if your body is filled with all of this trapped fear. And that's why I'm here with you, with my clients, to be with them, to hold them as they are feeling that emotion, to be like, this is not going to kill you. I promise. The shame that you're feeling, you need to feel it. Most healers, therapists, coaches help you avoid your shame because they have avoided their own shame. The way that I work with shame is completely different than you will ever experience. I am pro shame. I am not anti shame. We have villainized shame in our society. Oh, well, don't shame yourself. Well, don't do that. Shaming yourself is not feeling your shame. Feeling your shame is actually what allows you to change behaviors that are no longer serving you and that are not actually your authentic self. So feeling your shame is just like feeling your pain or feeling your sadness or feeling your joy. You cannot avoid your shame. As my mentor says, when you avoid your shame, you avoid yourself. So where are you avoiding yourself? My job is to help you feel safe to be with all emotions, to be with all parts of you, the scared part of you, the part of you that feels messy and insecure, the part of you that feels like, you know, they present one way to the world and then inside their apartment, they're just completely different. Like, I'm here to heal that fragmentation so that you can feel whole. The version of me that you see right now used to not be the same version that would be behind closed doors. People would view me as this grounded, emotionally intelligent person who I am at my core. And yet behind closed doors, I would be an activated 5-year-old grasping, manipulating, controlling, doing everything I could to feel safe. Now, who I am behind closed doors matches who I am. And it's so much less exhausting. It's exhausting to try and present one way and then be another way, because who you are authentically at your core is that powerful, embodied, wise woman, or whoever you are listening to this, right? It's like, that is who you are, but you have to feel safe to embody your authenticity. And we can't feel safe to embody our authenticity if we are bypassing all of the many years of stored trauma and pain in our body, because again, we're trying to make space for something new, a new way of feeling, a new way of relating, a new way of being, a new way of communicating, a new way of living our lives. And yet we have not processed the old emotion, the old way of relating, the old way of communicating. We haven't processed any of that somatically out of our bodies. So yes, somatic practices are great, but it's not about locking yourself in a room and chanting and meditating all day. It's about relational healing. It's about doing those somatic practices. Yes, I do them every day. I chant every day. I breathe every day, meditate every day. but it's about, more importantly, do those, but also allowing a safe grounded nervous system to see all parts of you, which is why group healing is so fucking powerful, because you not only have me, but you have all the other people in the group witnessing you, witnessing all parts of you. This thing that you thought was just you, this thing that you thought was, oh, I'm just weird or broken because I have this thing. When you get into a group healing container with me, you realize everyone else is struggling with some version, some flavor of that. My mind was so blown when I first started doing group healing. I was so terrified to show these women, like, oh, this is how I am in relationships. This is how I am when my anxious attachment gets activated. This is how I am. And I would get so shameful about it. I would be like, no one else acts this way. Yes, they do. Number one. Number two, everyone's trauma shows up in just a little bit different flavor, but it's all similar. And even when it's different, that's been a big part of my work too, is owning the perception of like, well, regardless of if I view this trauma as worse or better or whatever, right? When that comparison comes in, it actually doesn't matter because it's my experience. So me trying to compare it to, well, how come this person doesn't struggle with this? How is that helpful if I do struggle with it? And what really you'll see is that everyone struggles with similar shit. It just shows up in slightly different ways. And it is the most healing thing in the world when you can be seen, all parts of you, the most shameful parts, where we can bring those forward. And yes, we can hold you accountable in shifting the behaviors that are not actually you. But we can also look at the root underneath those behaviors and hold the terrified younger part that is doing those maladaptive, inauthentic behaviors to try and feel safe, and show her a new way of safety so that you don't have to relate that way anymore. So to sum this up, look at any area of your life that you feel stuck in. You want to lose weight, you want to gain weight, you want to work out, you want to eat better, you want to make more money, you want to feel less anxious, you want to feel more at peace, you want to feel more in your power, you want to feel more connected to your purpose, you want to know what the fuck your purpose is. You know, like whatever it is, you want to stop self-sabotaging, whatever it is, looking at, when I'm relating to this thing, what is the energy in my body? When I'm communicating to this person, what is the energy in my body? And you don't have to be afraid of it. You just have to get curious of what is it exactly? Like, am I feeling afraid? Am I feeling shame? Am I feeling pain? Am I feeling contracted? Am I feeling like graspy? Am I holding on to something for dear life? That's what mine was last night. It was like, oh, I'm holding on to this thing because I'm afraid of it being taken away from me. Because that's what I perceived happening as a kid, was something that I needed for safety was taken away from me. Was it actually taken away from me? Yes and no. And that's a story for another time. So let's wrap this up. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And if you are ready to dive into this work, I have two ways of doing this right now. I have my Authenticity Unleashed program, which tier 2 is still open, which means you get the actual program, the 5 modules. I'm recording module 4 in 1 hour and 12 minutes, so you can join us. It's going to be releasing all that is not you. And I'm so excited for it. It's going to be so good. And then you will get all 5 modules. So the 3 that you missed, you'll get the replays of, and then the 2 that are still being filmed live, you can join us live. That's at 222 payment plan for 2 payments of 111. Or you can join my membership, Beyond Your Wildest Dreams, where you get 3 monthly live trainings inside of a private Facebook group, and you get 1 monthly Zoom call with me in the group, where we do group healing, group coaching, group processing, Q&A, accountability, connection. Sometimes we just like journal and, color together. I don't think we've done coloring yet, but actually I think I want to do that for this month. We're going to do like some adult coloring book and just like connect. It's really just for connection, so you don't have to feel alone on your healing journey. And then I may or may not have a one-on-one spot open, so you can message me about that and I will see when my next availability is. But many ways to do this work. I'm so grateful to be here with you guys. Please just always come back to what is happening in my body. If that is the only question that you ask yourself all day long, That's literally all you need. That's all you need. What is happening in my body? What is happening in my body? Stop focusing on mindset. Fuck mindset. Mindset is not real if you're not tending to the energy in your body. Stop focusing on mindset. Start focusing on what's happening in my body. All right, let me just catch up on comments. Cara says, this is so good. I just journaled and uncovered some things. My neck and shoulders are so tense and feeling awful. I'm going to do more later tonight. This is so powerful. Yes. So we know when you're processing things, then you're feeling that tenseness. It's like the emotions getting stuck there. Can we just spend some time, hands on neck, breathing, allowing it, maybe visualizing warm gold light, like allowing it to move through. Like the other day when I got triggered, I literally stood in my kitchen sobbing and I just shook. I was like, this isn't mine. This energy isn't mine. It's not mine. Because I was taking on the projection of other people. So I was feeling their energy and I was like, this is not mine. And I literally came back to myself in like under an hour, which normally when I get triggered, I would be out. Like I would be dysregulated. I would be in my head. I would be spinning a little. Nope. Out. Got it out. I came back to me. Amazing. All right, let's see. Such a great time with you today. This was fire. Thank you guys. I feel on fire. This is what like we can shift energy so quickly. It's literally amazing. It's like magic. We literally with less than 24 hours, boom, and then I shifted, boom, and then the external reflected that, boom. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but usually when I am like really tapped in, I can shift quickly, and so can you. It is a practice. It's literally becoming your own magician. So magic is real. You are powerful. You are literally made of magic, stardust. Like you are magic. So please, anytime you get small, anytime you feel afraid, it's okay. But tend to that and come back to your innate knowing that you literally come from magic. You are so fucking powerful and magical, and your gifts are needed. Stop comparing to everyone else. Stop looking outside of yourself. Get in your body, breathe deeply, turn inward, and come home to your magic. You are so fucking powerful. And I love you so much. Mwah! And I will see you on the next live. Bye.